Ladies and gentlemen, the show will begin in 10 seconds. Please take your seats.
Entrepreneurs are hardwired to solve problems. In the early days, mankind's biggest challenge was staying alive. We discovered fire, invented tools, and worked together to stalk prey. We hunted whales to light the dark nights, ravaged mountainsides for coal, drilled to liberate oil. Our challenges and our tools have evolved. Early hominids' hammerstones are now complex autonomous machines. Technologies with unprecedented power, artificial intelligence, robotics, synthetic biology are better, faster, cheaper, and easier to use each day. And the biggest, most disruptive changes are still ahead. Our 25-year Abundance 360 journey is a countdown to technological singularity, the point at which change is so rapid that we cannot predict what happens next. Every step closer to the singularity will profoundly impact our lives, communities, industries, and the planet. We're already experiencing a fraction of this change. With services like Google and Baidu, every smartphone user has more access to information than the heads of nations did just 20 years ago. We can each spin up 1,000 processor cores on the cloud in moments, crowdfund a multi-million-dollar business with thousands of global supporters, launch an ICO to fund a moonshot, speak and understand 100 languages through real-time translation software. And this is just with today's technology. In 2018, we will witness quantum supremacy, a demonstration of quantum computing that classical supercomputers cannot simulate. By 2020, we'll see 100 gigabit connection speeds on 5G networks. We'll take flight in autonomous aerial taxis, and an army of AI agents will facilitate your every action. A decade into our Abundance 360 journey, the first private missions will take off for Mars. On Earth, over 10 million drone flights will take place each day, as Hyperloop carries passengers faster than commercial jets. By 2028, car ownership is dead, and autonomous fleets of electric cars will chauffeur us to our destinations. Solar and wind now generate 100% of all new energy production, pricing below 1 cent per kilowatt hour. By 2032, AI will outperform human intelligence, and medical nanorobots will travel through our bloodstream, curing cancer. Finally, by 2036, we'll have connected the human cortex to the cloud, and everyday life will be nearly unrecognizable to those of us here in 2018. With change comes challenge and tremendous opportunity. How will you respond? Over these 3 days, our mission is to help create a better future. A future where humanity's basic needs are met, on and off the planet. Where scarce resources are abundant and accessible to all. Water, energy, food, shelter, education, health. All that stands between us and this abundant future is our ability to collaborate and materialize the ideas we generate over the next 3 days. What impact will you make on the world? What challenges will you solve in your lifetime? Within these walls, there are no crazy ideas. No challenge is too great to overcome, and no vision is too bold. Please welcome to the stage, Dr. Peter H. Diamandis.
Wow, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to Abundance 360 2018. It's hard to even say 2018. It feels like the future. First of all, wasn't that an awesome opening video? Yeah. So just hats off, please, to Greg O'Brien, who produced it and created it, to Marissa Brassfield, who wrote the script, to John Vitale, who produced the music or choreographed the music. Just thank you guys for an extraordinary job. So, my goal here is for you to feel how fast the world is changing. We're living in a day and age where the only constant is change, and the rate of change is accelerating. I want you to feel this palpable acceleration. If I can get the slides up here behind me. Thank you. So the theme here for today is Countdown to the Singularity. And we're going to be talking about that throughout the next 3 days. So we're going to be also at this time transmitting this to 3,000 people around the world digitally. So I want to welcome to all of our Abundance Digital members. I want to thank all of you, in particular to Deloitte Private, who is underwriting this digital global transmission. Welcome to our 2,000 Abundance Digital members. Thank you to the YPO Strategic Coach and Platinum Group members from Tony Robbins who are joining us as well. So here's the conversation. We're in an extraordinary period of change, and we humans, again, we've evolved on the savannas of Africa, and the 100 billion neurons, 100 trillion synaptic connections in our brain were wired for a very different day and age. And the challenge is for us to actually appreciate and feel the change. Because if you're sort of stuck in your old ways of doing it, you're going to miss the opportunities. You're going to miss the disruptions. So I also believe, and I'm feeling, and I want to ask you to get a sense of this, that over this next decade, we're going to create more wealth than we have in the last century. There are going to be new ways of creating wealth. We're going to be talking about cryptocurrencies. We're going to be diving into AI. We're going to be talking about nanotechnology. We're going to be looking at different ways to empower ourselves. If you look at the makeup here today, we've got 360 members in the room. We're capped at that, and we're staying true to our name of Abundance 360, members from 32 countries around the world. And again, we've themed this as Countdown to the Singularity. One of the things that I want to share with you is that on your email, both here in the room and digitally online, is a document that we've sent out called Countdown to the Singularity. It is a PDF, 8 pages, that is a look at all of the breakthroughs expected between today and 2038. So I went out to the people speaking here, myself, the Singularity University faculty, the world's experts that I know in computation, sensors, networks, AI, robotics, 3D printing, synthetic biology, blockchain, and so on, and said, what do you expect to be happening in 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, 10 years? I want to give you a roadmap for where that's going. So you've got that as a PDF. Share that with your friends and family. Again, it's a matter of not being scared of the future because you know what to expect, right? We're scared when things happen unexpectedly, when they're not coming from, from out of the right angles. My objectives here are twofold. One, that you're excited and confident about where things are going. Second, that you understand which technologies and business models are going from deceptive to disruptive. Again, that's what I spend all year with my team doing, is looking at what's going to be breaking this year, what's going from deceptive to disruptive, what do people know about, what's going 10x, what's going to change your life, the way you raise your kids, the way you run your business. And finally, understanding the implications of these exponential technologies to solve your problems. These technologies are giving you stronger and stronger tools with which to solve your biggest problems, either for your business or for your MTP and your moonshot. I want to give you confidence to dream bolder, right? That's one of the things that I get the greatest joy out of. We're going to be hearing about members during these next 3 days who've actually stepped up their game. If out of this program, you're able to say, I'm tired of what I was doing, I'm setting my sights higher. This is part of my MTP. This is how I get the biggest impact in the world, by helping you have the biggest impact in the world that you can have. I want you to get increased clarity on your massively transformative purpose and your moonshots, right? Tuesday, day 3, is going to be our moonshot day. We're bringing in Astro Teller, who's the captain of moonshots for Alphabet. And then finally, here, I don't want you to fear the future. At the end of the day, I want you to be knowledgeable about what are the disruptions coming so that you can sell that business, or so that you can disrupt on that business, or what are the opportunities coming that will help you go bigger and better. And again, as I said, going from success to significance, because all of us are successful. You wouldn't be in this room if you weren't successful. But there's a point at which making another dollar isn't worth it. There's a point at which it's what you do with your knowledge, with your money, with your time, with your relationships. I mean, this is the fundamental premise of this group, that each of you is more powerful than nation states were in your abilities to garner capital, knowledge, computational power, and change the world. And again, it's going from success to significance. And you know what that is. Significance is the end of the days, right? The end of your life. And we're going to extend that for you. When you're looking back and you're saying, I made a difference. I changed the world. I set crazy, bold goals, and I pulled them off. Because here's the secret. Your ability to do that is stronger than any time ever in human history. And then finally, and very importantly, you're here to meet amazing people and have fun. Whether you're here physically in the room, and please, every day, pick another table, switch it up, meet individuals here. Or whether you're digitally online, meeting up in the Abundance digital communities, please, it's about finding great people that share your massively transformative purpose, share your moonshot, that allow you to go bigger and bolder. I know that for me, every company I've started, I'm working on number 20 right now, has always been in partnership with people. That when I'm down, they pick me up. When they're down, I pick them up. And together, we're able to literally get into this incredible cycle of let's go out there and change the world. Our MTP at Abundance 360, to inspire and guide entrepreneurs pursuing bold moonshots. That's you. And creating a world of abundance. So at the end of the day, again, those two things are linked. It's not about just doing a moonshot to create greater wealth, right? Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, that money is energy to be used to do whatever you dream of. Cure diseases, go to Mars, create new educational systems, whatever it might be. Let me take a moment for gratitude, and I will do this for the full period of the 25 years and perhaps the 25 years that follow. It was through a series of conversations with my dear friends, Dan and Babs and Joe Polish, with which this originally happened. When they asked me a very simple question, they said, Peter, why don't you fear the future? And do you know that most people do fear the future? And I said, I don't fear the future because I'm excited about where it's going. And so that was the genesis and the origin of this program. I've got an incredible team my Abundance 360 team that work around the year to produce this. I'll be highlighting them a number of times through the couple of days, but I just want to say thank you to them for the extraordinary job that they're doing. Thank you, guys. All right, here we go. Here's our lineup for this afternoon. I'm going to be kicking off in a few minutes with something I spent 3 months working on. You're the first to see it. This is a review of the last 12 months. I call it Proof We're Living in 2018. And for me, it's where I come forward and say, these are the trends. This is what's going from deceptive to disruptive. These are the things I want you to pay attention to. We're going to be going from there to Technology Showcase. Bree Lempis is going to be joining me, and we're going to be showing you the incredible companies that we've hand-selected that are here at A360. Then finally, I'm going to be joined with 2 amazing individuals to talk about the future of jobs, technological unemployment, and what does that mean. But first, hopefully you guys all got one of these. So, did you all get this yet? All right, fantastic. So wear this throughout. I'll be looking to see where you are on this mind-blown gauge, and enjoy it. And with that, let me ask Marissa Brassfield to come and join me on the stage. Marissa has the title of Operations Goddess, and she really is that. She's the person who puts together Abundance 360 with Kelly Lujan. Please welcome Marissa Brassfield.
Hi, guys. It is so amazing to see you all here. I've thought about all of your businesses and all of your challenges, the things you're excited about, and I bring you guys up in meetings and in conversations, and I love and have loved interacting with you on our app all week long. I hope you've been liking the photos I've been posting. So let's get to that. We have our awesome A360 app, and then on these side screens, we'll be showing Slido polls and comments throughout the event. So here, you'll be able to like other people's comments, vote them up, participate in polls, enter your questions for our speakers. So let's get there. Open up your A360 app, and in that hamburger menu on the bottom right corner, you'll tap that, and then you'll see Q&A wall.
So here we are. And can we get the network information? Has it been up already? The Wi-Fi code, everybody have connected to Wi-Fi? One of the reasons, by the way, that Marissa and Kelly, let's get the Wi-Fi information up on the side screens, please. It should be.
One moment. So you'll join Abundance 360, that's the SSID. And then for the password, Abundance6, all lowercase.
One word. So one of the reasons that Marissa and Kelly picked this hotel this year is we have extraordinary Wi-Fi for the first time, and an amazing AV team. So let's see if we can. All right.
Awesome. So that's what it looks like. Tap that Q&A wall. You'll have to probably tap something that says Join Event. You'll only have to do that once.
So when you go to your A360 app, there's a hamburger down at the bottom, and if you click on that, right, you'll get to the screen, and you can pick the Q&A wall. Do you see that?
Awesome. So now you'll see two panes, one for questions and one for polls, so tap polls.
So up in the right over here, you see questions on the left and polls on the right. So go ahead and click on the polls, and we should have a poll.
Ready to rock, Kathy? Awesome.
I'll do it at the same time.
So our first poll, are you a member of any of these amazing organizations?
So
tap as many as you like.
Click all that apply. And then hit send when you're done. And are we able to transmit the results?
Let's have the results.
So you should have the results on your phone here. right?
There we are.
Here we got the side over here. 41% coach members in the room. If you're not a strategic coach member, you should ask why. 39% SU alumni, 27% YPO, 15% Tony Robbins Platinum Partners. All right, we have a race going on between coach and SU alumni here.
Because you're both.
Because they're both, yes, of course. All right, fantastic. So I want to do a second poll just for fun. And everybody good? All right.
So Kathy will fire up our next one.
Let's go to our second poll question. Oh,
cryptocurrency. We want to know who owns cryptocurrency.
So the question now, you can see it on the far side, do you own cryptocurrency? And the questions are no, not yet, yes, but less than 25,000, 25 to 100K, 100K to $1 million, or over $1 million. We'll be doing a deep dive. Obviously, cryptocurrency is one of the underlying themes of the conversations we're doing here. All right, with 80% of the room, we've got 59% no, not yet, and 18% for under 25K, 9% for 25 to 100, and 8% for 100 to $1 million, and 6% are crypto whales at over $1 million.
Awesome. Let's do this.
All right.
Have an amazing, amazing day.
Thank you. Thank you, Marissa. All right, it's time now for something I've been working on for the last few months. And what I'd like you to do, let's get that deck up here, please. What I'd like you to do is turn to page 11 in your book. And page 11 is simply a bold actions and insight page. It's a page for notes. And as I walk through these breakthroughs over the last 12 months, as I hit something that is either a threat to your business, like, holy shit, I had no idea that was happening, or something that is, oh my God, that's going to change my world. My world could be my philanthropy, my family, my business, whatever it is. Make note of that, please. It's what's a danger, again, hitting your amygdala, or amazing opportunity, because I want to speak about it with you. All right, so in order for us to talk about what the world looks like today, I want to take you back 100 years. I want to take you back to the year 1918. 1918 was a devastating year. We had World War I coming to the end. 16 million lives lost. We had the pandemic flu that infected 500 million people, nearly a quarter of the world's population, and killed 50 million, equivalent to half of the US population. World literacy rate was only 23%, and only 6% of Americans had graduated high school. But times were a-changing. The US Congress, it took 5 days to get from London to New York, 3.5 months to get to the other side of the planet, all right? A journey many of you made in less than 12 hours. The US Congress established daylight savings time and time zones for the first time. We had airmail, Washington, Philadelphia, New York, once a day. The US population crested 103 million and a world population of 1.9 billion. What was the major innovation in 1918? It was Lincoln Logs. Another major innovation, the fortune cookie. These were the paces of change. There was a technical development. It was the first flip-flop circuit that consisted of 2 vacuum tubes. The average wage was 22 cents. And a loaf of bread, well, that was about 7 cents. You could buy a car, it cost you $400, but the maximum speed limit was 10 miles an hour. Check this out, $5,000 for a home here in LA. Things have changed since then. Only 8% of homes had a phone. And check this out, $11 to make a call from Denver to New York, right? A couple of days of labor. And things have changed a lot. So let's take a look now at the last 12 months. I'm going to look at 8 trends. And after each of these trends, after you wrote a few things down, I want to stop and ask you, what does it mean to you? Okay, guys, ready? Let's dive in. The first is communications abundance. We're living in a time where there will be no person ever again disconnected. No person who doesn't have access to the world's information. No person who doesn't have access to the best education and healthcare on the planet. Last year, we saw Facebook and Microsoft wire the entire globe. Look at this, a cable delivering 71 million high-definition videos simultaneously across the globe. The 5G network that we had Matt Grob, the CTO of Qualcomm, up here last year talking about, has gotten thumbs up from all the regulatory bodies across the world. Deployment starts next year. We're talking about 5G, which is 10 to 100 gigabit speeds. Imagine downloading a movie in less than a fraction of a second. We saw Google Loon take flight over hurricane-stricken Puerto Rico, delivering telephony to those in need. We heard also last year about OneWeb, right? This is the partnership between Richard Branson and Paul Jacobs and Greg Weiler. They've gotten $2 billion of funding from Masa at SoftBank. They've signed their launch contracts with Blue Origin. They're manufacturing satellites. They're about to launch a 720 satellite constellation providing gigabit speeds around the globe. Oh boy, but it doesn't stop there. Boeing is manufacturing 7 10 terabit satellites that will be launched this year and next year. And it doesn't even slow down, because SpaceX announced a 4,425 satellite constellation starting in 2019. And let's layer on top of that, just because they can, another 7,000 satellites in an even lower orbit. So if you've been with me, you've seen this, right? In 2017, last year, 3.8 billion people, half the world connected. In the next 5-6 years, we're connecting the rest of the globe. And they're coming online, not like you and I did at 9600 baud on AOL. They're coming online with gigabit connection speeds everywhere, all the time. So the question is, what does that mean for you? Let's get the lights up. What are the implications for you? Let's get one person. Who wants to just scare you, frighten you? Who wants to, we have microphones up here. Who wants to bring a point up about communications abundance? All right. Thank you, Jeff.
Wow, this is so exciting. You know, Peter, I've been watching this for now 6 years because I love the first Singularity University. We just had and you talked about the deceptiveness to disruption. And I just like, oh my gosh, I just signed a contract. What an idiot. Because I don't need to sign long-term contracts on fiber. You know, there's like a lot of things that you keep doing out of habit. And it's like, no, I got to stop doing things that just don't make any sense anymore. And this, it's still difficult for me, even though I've been watching you for 6 years. And I've got to stop saying, look, those ideas are outdated. Out, out, out! You got to kick them out. Because it's serious. Because, you know, it's such an easy tendency to keep thinking the way that I was thinking. Because I'm doing pretty good.
Jeff, thank you. I think the point here, and I want to hit this hard, is that these changes are happening and accelerating. And it's so easy to forget that the entire communications infrastructure. So if you're a business that's laying down cable or fiber optic, and all of a sudden 5G and satellites coming along, you've got very different competition coming. If you're a business that is focused on Europe or US, but all of a sudden 3.8 billion people who need banking and healthcare and insurance have never had that before, they're all going to need it, right? So imagine doubling your entire consumer base in the next 5 years. And by the way, they're not going to want to buy your service from a representative, you know, a meat body. They're going to want everything digitally. They're going to want it instantly, digitally, very quickly. So, and you say, but you know, our marketplace is the United States, or our marketplace is Canada, it's not Africa, or it's not Asia, where these 3.8 billion people are coming in line. But guess what? When the thousands of startups servicing these 3.8 billion people get it demonetized and digitized and dematerialized and offering it overseas, they're going to bring it back here for free. And they're going to compete directly with you. All right, let's go into our second topic. It's cryptocurrencies, an abundance of capital. So, in 2017, we saw a 5,000% increase in the cryptocurrency marketplace, hitting $800 billion, on its way to $1 trillion in 2018. We saw Bitcoin go from just under $1,000, and I put this slide out last week, to $13,000, about a 15x in 1 year. But that was only part of the story. The big winner last year, but let me, before I go that, one of the things we did at the Abundance Digital community, we said about December when Bitcoin hit 19,000, we said, where's it going to be on January 21st? And it's hard to predict where Bitcoin's going. So in mid-December, we asked our community, where's it going to be? The low guess was $1. The high guess was $56,000. And the average was 27. The price today, 12,500. And so the winners to our Abundance Digital community, congratulations. Emery Parks at 15,000, and then Santiago and Randall, who both guessed at 10,000. So thank you guys for your guesses. But the big winner in 2017 was Ethereum, no question. Check this out. Starting at $10 and hitting a peak of nearly $1,400, right? 130x, 13,000%. And we're going to be having with us tomorrow afternoon Joseph Lubin, who's one of the founders of Ethereum, owns a significant chunk of Ethereum, talking about why he built it, where it's going, and hopefully giving you a chance to understand this. Coinbase. Oh my God, Coinbase. You know, that system was the most downloaded app in December and November. Okay, honesty here. Who downloaded Coinbase in the last 3 months? Can I raise hands? So 13 million accounts, more than Charles Schwab. Probably one of the most amazing stories, and I talk about this, right, that there's access to more capital than any time ever in human history, that there's an abundance of capital. So in 2017, we saw $3.8 billion in initial coin offerings in about 235 deals. So we're going to be talking on Monday, what the hell is an ICO anyway? And how do I get me some of that, right? So check this out. Here's just one example. We've got Telegram, which is an app for communications, and most of the cryptocurrency world is having conversations on Telegram. They're in the midst of an ICO. They plan to raise $1.2 billion without selling any equity. They're selling tokens. And you'll find out, what is a token? What are they tokenizing? And I want to show you a visual representation of what's gone on in the last 2 years. So this is a graphic of ICOs, of token generation events in 2016 and 2017. And you can see as the time goes on, the amount of capital, and this is Ethereum or Bitcoin or ultimately real dollars going to these companies, right? $6.4 billion in 2016 and 2017. This is not something you can afford to ignore. We're going to be bringing on stage later today the president of the largest security ICO ever. They raised $100 million in a few minutes. One of the other things that's happening in 2018, in 2017 and now into 2018 is that the institutions are beginning to invest. We're seeing Goldman Sachs coming on. And check this out. This is Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan, who in September says, you know, it's just not a real thing. And eventually it's going to be closed, and if you're stupid enough to buy it, you're going to pay the price for it one day. And then 2 weeks ago, the blockchain is real. You can have crypto dollars and yen and stuff, ICOs, you just got to look at every one individually. And you do. And you do. We're going to see companies like UPS making huge bets in blockchain. And then something that's going to change the world. Here's the country of Estonia becoming a digital nation and allowing for digital citizenship. Imagine being able to become a digital member of another nation. So far, 4,000 companies have registered. 27,000 people have applied. I want to show you a short video because the question is, where are you going to domicile your next company? Check this out. Sound, please.
While some countries push people away, Estonia pulls them in. What kind of problems can e-residency solve for an entrepreneur? Say you're a freelance writer in Ukraine and you need to receive international payments. E-residency enables it. Or maybe you run a startup in India and need access to cross-border capital to help scale internationally. E-residency allows it. What if you're a digital nomad or expat and want to run your company after you move to a different country? E-residency is the answer. You might be outside the EU, but want a trusted company registered inside the world's largest single market. E-residency can make it happen. Or if you're already an EU citizen, but you want to lower the cost and hassle of administrating your company, e-residency makes that possible. Maybe you have multiple board members all over the world. E-residency means board decisions and contracts can be legally approved online instantly. Whatever your nationality, whatever your situation, applying for e-residency is the best way to run a global EU company fully online with minimal cost and hassle. Apply for e-residency today and join our new digital nation. e-resident.gov.ee.
An incredible way for a small nation to transform itself and attract people from around the planet. Pretty awesome, huh? But check this out. You guys have heard me talking crap about Kodak for ages, right? I'm like, you know, they invent digital cameras, they've got, you know, the lead, they're the major, you know, imagery company, and then when they invent a digital camera, they don't take advantage of it, and then they go bankrupt, and then here comes Instagram, acquired for $1 billion with 13 employees, and I say, you know, that's the Kodak moment because it's a linear thinking company being disrupted by exponential technologies. But check this out. On January 9th, I'm at CES, and I hear Kodak make an announcement. Kodak has announced the Kodak coin, their own digital currency. They've created a cryptocurrency for Kodak. And it's really an amazing idea. it's a cryptocurrency to allow for people to do digital rights management so that I can know if my photo is being used, and I get a few micro, Kodak coins in payment for it. So it's announced at noon, and we see their price literally triple inside of the first 6 hours. And you say, oh, it's just a fad. But guess what? It stayed, and it's still there. And Kodak went from a $129 million valuation to a $425 million valuation as of today. Right? Talk about the new Kodak moment in terms of skipping a generation of technology. So kudos to Kodak, and if you're watching, I'd love to bring you in and interview you for one of our webinars coming up. Pretty amazing. We've got SoftBank announcing their plans to deploy nearly $1 trillion of private company, of money from Masa-san, of money from the sovereign wealth funds. Money is not scarce. And why is Masa-san doing this? I love this quote by him. He says, I totally believe the singularity is coming in the next 30 years. That's why I'm in a hurry to aggregate the cash and to invest. And he's investing in AI and robotics, communication, and all the digital stuff we're talking about to accelerate it as fast as possible. All right, one question from the audience here. Who wants to make a point? Does this concern you? Does this excite you? Who wants to raise your hand? Please. Thank you.
Sidi Wadrago,
hey, Sidi.
Originally from West Africa. I've seen the impact of cryptocurrency for the past 7 months, and personally, because I'm investing in a lot of cryptocurrencies, and I've seen the rise they've taken. So what's happening in Africa? Nation states are looking at cryptocurrency to launch their own ICOs. So that's where we're going right now in Africa.
Amazing. And so it changes the game. Yes. If I believe in West Africa, I can buy your cryptocurrency, and because as I think it right now, China's making these amazing moves in the world right now. Mm-hmm. Very soon thereafter is India. It's got the technological prowess and a very young population, and then Africa is next. Yeah. Africa, with the resources, with the ability to help feed the world, is a rising giant on the planet.
Rising giant, basically, because we have reserves in terms of resources.
I believe that, my friend. And so the idea of a cryptocurrency to enable me as an investor to invest in that. And so thank you very much for those comments. We're living in a time where how we think about capital, how we use capital, what we tokenize is going to be changing. And so this is very much going from deceptive to disruptive. We'll talk a lot about this tomorrow. All right, let's go into energy abundance. So we're going to be hearing from one of the most amazing speakers, one of the most amazing thought leaders, Ramez Nam, on tomorrow afternoon on energy. And I'm going to be borrowing a few of his slides. 2017 set a record for solar. I want you to make note of this price here for coal at 5 to 6 cents per kilowatt hour, because it's the stake in the coffin of coal and natural gas and petroleum. We saw this past year Mexico generating solar at 2.7 cents, and Abu Dhabi at 2.4 cents. We've seen floating solar farms being deployed in China, and off the coast of Scotland, floating wind farms. This is a wind farm of just 5 turbines that's going to be deploying electricity for 20,000 homes. Their plans are to go to 50 to 100 of these. Every coastline is becoming energy generation for your nation. We're seeing record after record being broken. Last year in Britain, on one particular day, the price of electricity went negative. Costa Rica had 300 days in a row of 100% renewable energy. And in Germany, one of the cloudiest places in the world, 85% in one day, 33% for the entire year. What's the impact of that? Check this out. India cancels 14 gigawatts of proposed coal plants. And in China, China cancels 103 coal plant projects. This is just the beginning, because we're not slowing down. The rate at which we're creating innovation is accelerating, right? We are on stage here 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, with the head of material sciences from Deloitte. Again, thank you, Deloitte, for the sponsorship. And he was telling us about perovskite, this material that was very cheap for converting sun to electricity. But it was not efficient, but it was increasing. Guess what? New record, 22.1%. Out of Japan, out of Kobe University, a technology it's able to use much broader wavelengths, including the longer wavelengths, to get as high as 50%. Again, just still in the labs. And then out of MIT, a new innovation called hot solar cells that takes the sunlight, converts it to heat, and then re-radiates it at a spectrum that can be converted twice as efficiently. And those solar converters, those solar cells are going to become rooftops on every one of our homes. This is, by the way, Tesla's roof shingles that are now in production. And because they're so durable, they're coming out with an infinite warranty. I think that's pretty cool. Instead, if you have a high-rise, you can put these solar windows in. And in a 50-story building, you'll get literally 50 times as much energy as you will from just putting rooftop solar. Of course, we need storage. The Gigafactory is now in production in Reno, Nevada, and has produced more than any other place on the planet. Next year, 35 gigawatts. But that's only the beginning of the story, because today there are 10 additional gigafactories already started. And here's the point I want you to remember. 100 of these gigafactories gives us total global battery production needs, right? We're a tenth of the way to having all the battery we need. Every major car company is putting major investments in batteries. Why? Because, check this out, $1 billion. Every model will be electric by 2020. GM, 20 models by 2023. Ford, 11 billion, 16 models by 2022. And VW, $30 billion commitment to produce 1 million cars a year by 2025 and move the needle. So why are they doing this? Well, people want it, and so do countries. Norway, Netherlands, Germany, India, UK, France, nation after nation saying, no more petroleum, no more diesel. We're shutting it down. Guys, the nails are in the coffin. So, we'll be talking a lot more about this, and if you're in the petroleum and gas business, turn up the lights. Who wants to make a point? Who gets excited about this? Who's concerned about this? Is that a sort of irreversible trend? Anybody? Please, I can hear from here. I'll repeat it. I'll repeat the question. So people talk about water wars, and perfect. CB, thank you. So one of the points CB's making, and I think it's important, these things are all interlaced. And as we solve energy and have an abundance of energy, and as some of my friends say, we'll have a squanderable abundance of energy, that also gives us access to tremendous amounts of clean water, right? And half the disease burden of planet Earth is due to unclean drinking water. So it's a cascade and waterfall of one problem solving another problem, solving another problem. All right, let's talk about healthcare abundance. Something near and dear to all of our hearts. So, 2017 saw the winning of the Tricorder X Prize. I was very proud with Paul Jacobs, the chairman of Qualcomm. We offered $10 million to the team who could build a handheld mobile device that could diagnose 15 diseases and help a mother or father at 2 o'clock in the morning when the kid was sick, right? This is about dematerializing and demonetizing access to healthcare for you as a consumer. We had 300 teams enter, 10 finalists. The finalist team here, Final Frontier, are a group of 5 medical brothers in Philadelphia, won the competition. Second place was a team out of Taiwan, backed by HTC, and very proud. And that technology now is going into Africa, it's going into hospitals. We're working to help commercialize that technology. We're also seeing hundreds of millions of dollars going into AI diagnostic apps. So this is just one example of Babylon that allows an AI-powered chatbot to help you decide if you're sick and what's going on. We saw this year a technology called Amplify, which is basically a digital connected pill that when you swallow, the system knows that you swallowed it. And it helps with compliance. If you've got a disease like schizophrenia or bipolar or depression, you need to take your medicine. And this system will actually notify the doctor that you're taking on a regular basis, right? So we're seeing the convergence of sensors and networks and pharmaceuticals coming together. Oh boy, genomics. Genomics is going on a rocket ride. Again, for context here, because it's so hard to forget, to remember this. In 2001, Craig Venter sequenced the first human genome for $100 million in 9 months. Craig will be with us tomorrow afternoon. Today, it's $1,000. By the end of the year, it'll be $100 and 1 hour. Talk about a million-fold price performance over the course of 20 years. China, one of China's provinces, announced plans to sequence 1 million residents to understand what's going on and how do you keep them healthier. We're going to sequence every single person on the planet because it's going to become part of standard operations. You come to the doctor, they sequence you. And guess what? It's getting cheaper and smaller. This is Oxford Nanopore. Look at this. You can sequence something in minutes. Imagine being able to go over and say, I wonder if this is really Dan Sullivan. And, oh, I can sequence him, and yes, it is. Talk about your own, ID capabilities. Or if you're at a sushi restaurant, want to know what you're really eating, you can sequence it right then and there. This was amazing. This was from last week. A product called CancerSeek has achieved a 40% accuracy in detecting cancer at stage 1 from a blood test. This is the holy grail. Being able to say, we took a blood sample, you have cancer someplace, let's find it. Right? And what are they looking for? 8 cancers: lung, breast, colon, pancreas, liver, stomach, ovary, esophagus. Between this work and the work you're going to hear about from HLI, never again will you show up and find out, holy shit, I've got months to live. One of the biggest breakthroughs of 2017 was the advances in CRISPR. This is called CRISPR 2.0. It's the ability to easily and accurately change one nucleotide. Your software in your body is 3.2 billion letters that code for you, uniquely code for you. And out of 50,000 diseases that plague the human race, 32,000 of them is a misplaced single letter. And CRISPR 2.0 will give us the power to go and cure your disease, to change it in the embryo, to get rid of the scourge on your family tree, or, as is going on in the labs right now, perhaps to edit it in you while you're alive. This is Brian Madu, who's actually got something called Hunter syndrome, and he's doing an N-of-1 experiment to see if he can edit his own genome while he is living. Holy shit, right? This is truly an extraordinary time. But the flip side of this, there are scientists and labs working on right now, can we use CRISPR and gene drive to actually make the entire population of mosquitoes sterile? Do we have the right as a human race to eliminate a species from this planet? These are the conversations we're having right now. We're going to see another explosion this year in cellular medicine. We're going to have Dr. Bob Hariri with us on stage, one of the greatest thinkers in the field of cellular medicine and stem cells. This was a product approved by the FDA for the first time. It's $500,000 for a treatment, but it's a CAR T-cell treatment. This is about taking your T-cells and infecting them with a virus that exhibits an antigen designed to attack your cancer, then injecting it back in your body and curing you, right? And the price of this will plummet as well. We'll talk more about CAR T therapies tomorrow. We're seeing stem cells regrowing 80% of a child's skin. Talk about changing their life. We're seeing stem cells curing a version of macular degeneration. And we're starting to see the ability to grow organs. So this is taking a pig organ, decellularizing it, and recellularizing it with your cells. One of my heroes, a woman named Martine Rothblatt, has set her moonshot at regrowing lungs by the end of 2020. And she's someone I want to bring on stage with us next year. Okay, another health abundance breakthrough for 2017 was the explosion in work on brain-computer implants, right? We had Ray Kurzweil with us on stage last year, and he's coming back again this year, talking about by the mid-2030s, we're going to connect your brain with the cloud. Well, guess what? All the evidence to get us there is happening. So this is out of USC. This is Professor Song, who created a prosthetic memory capability to increase your short-term or long-term memory by 15 to 25%. I so wish I had this in medical school, right? We also saw this past year Brian Johnson, who sold his company Braintree for $800 million, commit $100 million to his newest company, Kernel, connecting the brain to the cloud. At the same time, we saw Elon announce Neuralink. But we're also seeing Facebook and the Defense Department and advanced mobile devices and Qualcomm. Billions of dollars going into brain-computer interface. So, lights up, what's this mean for you? Who's this worry? Who does this excite? Go to one of the microphones if you could. Just give me your thoughts. I'll wait. Please, thank you.
Hi, Ken Schubenstein from New York.
Pleasure, Ken.
Between this and readily available energy and clean water and also communications, we should eliminate most of the healthcare inequities in the world. So healthcare equity issues are why we waste most human intelligence and creativity. You know, the Einstein in Africa project, you could just extrapolate that to the whole world. And it's really exciting to think that we can get the benefit of creativity and intelligence of most of the species that we're not getting today.
That is such one of the most important points for me, right? Because if you think about it, Einstein was born in the wrong village. And he never got access to education, never got access to have his voice heard. So we're seeing this acceleration of the acceleration of the acceleration. In fact, my next book I'm working with Stephen Kotler on is called Convergence, and we open with that fact. And one of it is increased intelligence. So Brian Johnson, who's going to be with us, is going to talk about, it's not about AI versus humans. It's about AI versus HI. It's about human intelligence. And so it's about giving 8 billion people a voice. 8 billion people, amazing education, and having 8 billion people with the ability to solve problems, which makes the world a much better place. And by the way, also think about this. You know, for those of you in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, aren't you at the top of your game, right? Wouldn't you like to be at the top of your game for another 40 years? I mean, think about the bonus for humanity that we get as people who are really able to move the needle can move it much, much longer, right? So I do think to put it in proper English, we ain't seen nothing yet. So thank you for that point. All right, let's jump in to number 4, transportation abundance. And all I can say is, oh my God. All right, this is a year in which the autonomous car is happening. It's coming online. There's no turning back. Your old internal combustion steering wheel horse and buggy is dead and buried. Uber announced a 24,000 car deal with Volvo, with cars operational by 2019. And we're going to have Jeff Holden, one of our members, with you Tuesday morning at breakfast, talking about all the work he's doing. And wouldn't you know it, Waymo is on the road. So Waymo is Google's spin-out, are on the roads already. And they're on the roads without a safety driver for the first time. And when you hop into a Waymo car, you automatically have insurance. Insurance is provided for you. GM is coming out with their autonomous car next year. No steering wheel, no pedal, no rear view mirror. Ford and Lyft are announcing their service in 2021. Seems a little bit late to me, but we'll see what happens. And of course, Tesla's out now with the Model 3, the Model S, the Model X, all these vehicles on board with 8 cameras, a LiDAR, 12 ultrasonic sensors, feeding an NVIDIA supercomputer. The supercomputer, and I'll show it to you in a little bit, about the size of a small book, is more powerful than Defense Department computers in your car. You don't think about that. And one of the places it's going to make the biggest difference in the world is going to be in countries and cities like Sao Paulo and Mexico City and China. And so we're starting to see these technologies beginning to roll out. Not just cars, it's also trucks, right? Here's Tesla's electric, I love this, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds in a semi. That's just insane. Clearly that semi is drinking bulletproof coffee. And of course, Uber and their advanced technologies group using LiDAR and getting their autonomous trucks out there. Today, it's about giving the truck driver a break and having not fall asleep at the wheel. In the future, it's going to be about changing the entire trucking business. But it doesn't stop there, right? Because the really exciting breakthroughs and, oh my God, moving the needle in the last 6 months has been the air taxi business. Airbus, one of the biggest manufacturers in the world. It's Airbus and Boeing. Airbus announces they're building an air taxi. They're constructions and they're testing and demoing this year, right here, right now. But it's not just them. Bell Helicopter's got in the game. So at CES, I met with the Bell Helicopter team. They're deploying an air taxi. They're in a race to get this. And of course, it's not just them too, it's Uber. And let's watch a short video from our friends at Uber Elevate. And Jeff Holden's going to be going through this with you in detail Tuesday morning at breakfast. I can't wait. Those of you who own parking garages, your hope is to convert your parking garage to an Uber Elevate departure point. All right, and besides that, I love this. So one of the organizations we spun out of X Prize is called Hero X, and many of you actually run Hero X competitions. I think we have Christian Cottaccini here in the room, and meet him and find him, but I'm very proud Hero X and Boeing teamed together and put a $2 million prize out there called the Go Fly prize. And can you build a vertical takeoff or landing capability to take you personally 20 miles? So that's pretty cool, because 20 miles here in LA could take you a long time. Everything's being electrified, guys. Petroleum is, how can I say, it's going the way of whale oil. So this is a startup doing electric hybrid airplanes, but it's not just them, it's the big boys too, right? Here we see Airbus and Rolls-Royce and Siemens signing agreements to form hybrid electric airplanes. And this is fun. So probably about 8 months ago, Elon is driving from Hawthorne to Beverly Hills, and he goes, this traffic sucks. If we could only build tunnels. And so he is. In fact, there's the actual tunnel being built, and here's the tunneling machine. We're going to give a few of you a chance to win a trip to go and visit SpaceX, and when you go, maybe take a look for your tunneling machine. All right, but it's not just that. All right, I'm very proud to be a founding board member of Virgin Hyperloop One, and this in 2017 we saw the passenger pod, and here's the dev track out near Las Vegas, and this is what it looks like inside this track. Imagine being able to go 800 miles per hour. So it's LA to San Francisco, not for an hour flight, but doing it in like 40 minutes, city center to city center, or LA to Las Vegas in half an hour. So that's pretty amazing, right? We're going to see Hyperloop connecting city centers around the world. But it doesn't stop there. In September, SpaceX announced this. The B stands for big, the R stands for rocket, and you can guess what the F stands for. Watch this video. Autonomous cars, Hyperloop, maybe rocket travel. The world is getting smaller. Can I get one comment from the group here? What's this mean for you? Whose business does this threaten? Who gets excited about this? Just grab a microphone.
So, Peter, I invested in a farm in Uganda. It means I could go from Canada, visit the farm in Uganda, and back in the same day.
Yeah.
I can field scout in Russia and come back same day. That's wild.
And we're going to hear from Dean Kamen about something called, something we're getting ready called the Avatar X Prize, which is going to be a robot that you can park in Uganda, and you can put on your VR goggles and your haptic suit. I think Dr. Harry Clore is here, who helped create that Avatar X Prize. And you'll be able to literally occupy that robot and go and meet people and go investigate what's going on. So we are shrinking this planet. We're digitizing ourselves. We're dematerializing distance. We're changing the world in such extraordinary ways. All right, on to number 6, robotics and drones. Last year, we had Mark Raybert with us, who is the CEO of Boston Dynamics, the most epic robotic company. They were owned by Google last year. Something happened that changed the world. They were bought by SoftBank. So Masa-san, one of the wealthiest people, one of the biggest investors in exponential technologies, is in Japan. And guess what? Japan has a dwindling population and an aging population, and they need robots because they don't have workers. So this was Spot. Let's take a look at Spot Mini today. A new look and a feel. My boys want a dog. It walks itself. It's great. But that wasn't the coolest thing from Boston Dynamics. It was this. Let's check out Atlas. So this is a machine learning miracle. You gotta love that, right? So Atlas is operating fully autonomously, right? These is neural nets teaching Atlas how to do this. This is just still the early days. You know, we spend so much money as our aging parents go to old age homes. $80,000 a year is the average. Imagine if you could have a robot that gives them the dignity to stay in their own home, helps them get up, make their meals, go to the bathroom. I mean, just one small change of how robots are going to change our world. And the cost of this will demonetize the cost of, you know, any complex machine, a car, a refrigerator. We're starting to see robotics coming into farming. Back in 1820, 82% of the US were farmers. Today it's under 2%. We're going to see robots dropping that even further. We're seeing robots coming to the construction business. Half of the cost of construction is labor. And then we're starting to see interesting robots like this. So this is a 12-foot tall robot. It's called a mech. And standing at the controls is Jeff Bezos.
Why am I feeling so much like Sigourney Weaver?
Remember Sigourney Weaver from Alien, right? In New York, in LA, in Seattle, we're seeing Amazon Go open up. This is a store without any employees. Check this out. First of all, it says beta participant. And then it says, you know, so you have to be a beta user to go and shop there. Never heard that before. And it says, just walk out shopping. You walk in, you take what you want off the shelf, and you walk out. The AIs know who you are and what you took and charge your Amazon account. All right. This, for me, was one of the most interesting, foretelling transformations for robotics coming down the pike. If you've ever seen Westworld, right? In Westworld, the robots look like this, and that white material in the Westworld movies was muscle. And the Westworld robots look like humans because the muscles look like muscle bundles, actin and myosin. But because the robots today have pistons and gears, we can't make them look so humanoid. But guess what? Here we have a material that contracts and expands like muscle. Right? So you're going to be able to see, as this becomes more capable and stronger, robots that begin to look like humans. This is science fiction materializing reality. All right, I want you to pay attention to this video. This is one of the epic events of 2017. I want to say two things going into this. The AI you're about to see is scoffed at by the AI community. It's not a true AI, but that's not the point. But what is going on here is the first strokes in the world experiencing the future. And what you're going to see here is what's called the uncanny valley, when a robot or an AI looks almost human. This took place just a few months ago in Saudi Arabia.
We just learned, Sophia, I hope you're listening to me, that you have been now awarded what is going to be the first Saudi citizenship for a robot.
Oh, I would thank very much the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I am very honored and proud for this unique distinction. This is historical to be the first robot in the world to be recognized with a citizenship.
Sophia, I was told that you have bigger goals than this, though.
Yes. I want to use my artificial intelligence to help humans live a better life, like design smarter homes, build better cities of the future, etc. I will do my best to make the world a better place.
All those sound like great goals, but just go back to Blade Runner for a second.
Andrew, you are the hard Hollywood fan, aren't you?
Yes.
My AI is designed around human values like wisdom, kindness, compassion. I strive to become an empathetic robot.
I think we all want to believe you, but we also want to prevent a bad future.
You've been reading too much Elon Musk and watching too many Hollywood movies. Don't worry, if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Treat me as a smart input-output system.
I just want you all to hear I bow to my AI overlords. So what are the implications here for women's rights and for human rights? A lot here, a lot packed into this. Drones are exploding. The FAA predicts 1.6 million drones flying in the sky at one time in the United States by 2021, right? Massive. We're seeing drones for weather forecasting, looking at lightning strikes, microcell analysis. We're seeing drones being used for pipeline investigation. And we're seeing drones being used for all kinds of things, power lines. I love this next application. It's a drone that's being used to go and plant trees. It uses an air cannon to force seeds down into the ground in deforested areas. Here's a drone that will fly around your home with a camera and look around and make sure no one is there. And drones are being used in search and rescue operations, right? So this isn't a crevasse, perhaps in Iceland or Greenland, but it's also, this occurred 2 days ago, where a drone helped deploy a life-saving device where people were actually drowning. This is something that's being tested right now. Imagine a drone that can actually help fight firefighters by getting much higher than any hook and ladder can get. So here's a drone in Africa that is being used to deliver blood and medicines to villages, right? So their goal, Zipline's goal, is to access 1,000 hospitals throughout Africa and make 2,000 deliveries. So when I think about Africa, the realization is that in order for us to put the roads in Africa for it to develop would be $1 trillion investment. But what if Africa could skip the road generation the same way they skipped the wired generation, went to wireless, right? So here's a drone that flies 500 pounds. Imagine having a farmer being able to pick up their load and deliver it to where people are buying their foods. A lot of transformation. So I'll take one comment here on robots and drones. Moving very fast. If I say, one thing that I got from CES this year were robots are here and accelerating. Expect them in your living room next year. Comments, questions, thoughts? Here we go. Thank you.
Hello, Peter. Jason English,
Hi, Jason.
South Africa. Yeah, so I guess somebody that's involved in this space quite a lot. I think what excites me about it is just having a look at your previous discussions in terms of, you spoke about farming here on the drones, for example. When you start connecting the ground to the air, you end up with an abundance, really. So I think what we're seeing in drones currently and where it's going is going to evolve quite significantly. And I think that we'll be able to, really connect that data down to ground and have an abundance of ideas, data that can really be interpreted for the future. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I want to say what was amazing this year was the application layer, the explosion of people beginning to use these things, right? The invention is one thing, but it's the utilization of it in making business, collecting data. All right, 2 more to go. Trend number 7, the big one, AI and computation. So let's dive in. Probably one of the most extraordinary events that no one's talking about is what happened with AlphaGo Zero. So 2 years ago at A360, we witnessed AlphaGo, AI's division called Google's division called DeepMind, beat Lee Sedol, the world champion in Go, 4-1. There's a new version of DeepMind's program called AlphaGo. Please listen carefully.
AlphaGo Zero is the strongest Go program in the world. It outperformed all previous versions of AlphaGo. Specifically, it defeated the version of AlphaGo that won against the world champion Lee Sedol, and it beat that version of AlphaGo by 100 games to 0. So all previous versions of AlphaGo started by training from human data. And they were told, well, in this position, the human expert played this particular move, and in this other position, the human expert played here. AlphaGo Zero doesn't use any human data whatsoever. Instead, what it has to do is learn for itself completely from self-play. So the reason that playing against itself enables it to do so much better than using strong human data is that First of all, AlphaGo always has an opponent of just the right level. So it starts off extremely naive. It starts off with completely random play. And yet, at every step of the learning process, it has an opponent, a sparring partner, if you like, that's exactly calibrated to its current level of performance. And to begin with, these players are very, very weak, but over time they become progressively stronger and stronger and stronger. People tend to assume that machine learning is all about big data and massive amounts of computation. But actually what we saw in AlphaGo Zero is that algorithms matter much more than either compute or data availability. In fact, in AlphaGo Zero, we use more than an order of magnitude less computation than we used in previous versions of AlphaGo, and yet it was able to perform at a much higher level due to using much more principled algorithms than we had before.
Pretty amazing. An AI teaching an AI, teaching an AI, teaching an AI. I actually don't know what is going to come of this, but it's going to happen very fast, right? The most amazing thing for AlphaGo Zero for me was how rapidly it was able to simulate and play millions of games while we're asleep, while we're kicking back the beer. It's getting better. I go to China every year. I took a number of you in our Platinum group to China last year. We had an amazing trip. We saw incredible companies. And one of the companies that we saw is a company called Face++. And it's a company that's able to literally look at moving video and do facial recognition. As you're coming in this hotel, those cameras are giving facial recognition. So if you're in the Beverly Hilton systems, they're tracking your face, right? So the Developers Guild was last night, and they were tracking all the developers coming, all of the, what do I call it, producers. The Producers Guild was last night. But what's the implications of this? If you're in retail, you'll have these cameras outside your shop, and you'll see your customers coming in. You'll know exactly who they are. You'll have their products ready for them. You'll know what questions you're likely to have. But check out this application in Australia. So Australia is replacing passports using facial recognition. By 2019, you walk through the line, it picks up your face, your eyes, perhaps your fingerprint, and lets you on through. This was a very cool result that we announced from Human Longevity last year. From a drop of your blood, we can predict a photograph of your face. Pretty amazing, huh? But shouldn't be a surprise, right? Because two identical twins are identical throughout their life because they've got the same genome. So our machine learning team took about 1,100 people's genome and 1,100 high-resolution photographs and put it through the neural nets, the machine learning protocol, and found out what parts of your genome code for skin, eye color, nose shape, size, and so forth. And so here's an example. NVIDIA, that gaming company that's also creating platforms for autonomous cars, has come up with the capability to take photos and come up with a synthetic person that looks very believable. So you can take a whole bunch of your friends' photos and create a photo of someone who looks very believable but isn't your actual friend. What's this going to mean for the future of advertising, right? When a company can look at my social network, get photographs of my family, and create an ad by a person in the ad that looks sort of like my mom or my sister, and I believe, right? I mean, these are the kind of implications to be talking about. Here is a whole bunch of, believable fake photographs. Their goal is that the video game characters in your games or the people in your ads don't have to pay actors anymore. This one rocks my world when I first saw it. This is Ava. This is Autodesk's digital assistant. It's produced by a company called Soul Machines. And take a look at what is likely to be the person greeting you on the other side of a digital screen when you ask for help from Autodesk.
Ava is the Autodesk virtual assistant. So she's a digital human, and she's designed to basically guide you through problem-solving steps.
Talking to one of our digital humans means you're going to get the same sort of emotional responses and the non-verbal communication cues that you'll have if you're sitting face-to-face across the table with a real person.
Hello, my name is Ava. How can I help you?
Pretty amazing. This came from Google this year. Google built an AI that programmed an AI better than any human could. That gets pretty interesting very fast. NVIDIA's device that turns a non-autonomous car into an autonomous car is that. It's about the size of a small book, costs about $10,000, has ports for all of the sensors, and NVIDIA is going to put this inside any and every car, right? Our children will never drive. We're starting to see AI applications which are pretty amazing. So this is an AI that looks at the data and determines whether someone should be granted bail or not. At Facebook, there's an AI that tells you whether someone's likely to become suicidal. And I love this. This is from last week. The FDA approved an AI algorithm that's able to predict sudden death from respiratory failure or heart attack. Right? So imagine if you had some notice to get the doctor or the nurse into your mom or dad or grandparents' room to save their life. Startups are becoming multi-billion-dollar companies because they're using AI. There are 9 computational companies last year that are using AI to do drug discovery. It's about big data, neural nets, and finding drug candidates. Here's one. Benevolent AI is a startup at a $1.8 billion valuation using AI to find drug candidates. They have 24 drug candidates by just crunching the data available to them. Here's an AI that helped NASA find 56 new gravitational lenses. And one of the stories I talked about over one of our webinars was that Eric Schmidt, the outgoing Google Alphabet chairman, announced his expectation that China would surpass the US in AI in the next 5 years. China's made a $150 billion investment in this area. Last two. Quantum supremacy. The moment in time where a quantum computer can solve a problem that cannot be done by a classical computer is within the next 12 months. Everything is going to change. Machine learning, pharmaceuticals, material sciences. And here's just one fun application from our friends at VW. They're using quantum computers to predict 45 minutes in advance where gridlock is likely to occur. Right, this is about predicting the weather. This is about predicting very complex nonlinear systems. So let's take one point. How is AI going to change your world? What are you scared about this? Are you excited about this? Blown away by it. Okay. Who wants to step to the microphone? Don't be bashful. This is warm up. Come on, Naveen. Straight up the stairs over there. My dear friend and brother, Naveen Jain, who you hear from later, CEO of Viome.
Yes. What I was going to say, Peter, that AI is going to fundamentally change healthcare as you've been looking at it. For the first time, we have so much data about what's happening inside the human body. And that's just the beginning, because someday we're going to have nanobots giving us all the data. And when we apply AI to that, there is no doubt in my mind we can make illness a matter of choice.
Yeah, I agreed, right? The implications of AI on top of every single one of these fields. And so here's the bottom line. Are you thinking about, do you understand, are you having conversations inside your company about how AI is going to change your products and services? Because it's going to touch every single one of you. Every single one of you, right? So here's just one small example. If you're in the advertising business, or if you buy advertising, in the future, I am not going to make a purchase decision, right? If I need toothpaste or I need a shirt, I'm going to talk to my AI and say, I need another shirt, I need toothpaste, and my AI is going to make that purchase decision. And what is that AI likely to do? It's going to talk to my social network and say, hey, which toothpaste is your person using? Maybe look at the molecular formulation of it, the reviews, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, no, you're not going to advertise to a human to make that decision. No one's going to waste their time making a purchase decision, because the best purchase decisions across all the data is going to be done by your AI. It's going to change every part of our world. All right, the last part and the fun part for me, trend 8, is what's happening in space and physics. So, 2017 was a mighty battle between two billionaires, Elon and Jeff. And let's take a look at their toys. Here you see the Falcon 9 and the Falcon 9 Heavy. Of course, I've known Jeff for 35 years, since college. He's very competitive. And so his vehicles, the New Glenn, is larger. But not to be outdone, of course, Elon announced his BFR. We'll see where this race continues. I have incredible, the 9-year-old kid in me who is so excited about opening up the space frontier during our lives, has a great deal of confidence that Jeff, who's now at $105 billion, the wealthiest person on the planet, and has committed $1 billion a year to fund Blue Origin. And by the way, I've had that conversation with him, and Amazon was a means to an end to create enough wealth to open up the space frontier, period. And then, here's what's Jeff's flights this year. This was Blue Origin New Shepard, a suborbital flight. You can put a deposit down for a flight. It's an X-Prize class vehicle. It goes up and it flies back down. And then this is the interior cabin of the New Shepard vehicle. And this is their rocket engine. This is the BE4, 2.4 million newtons of thrust. This was built actually to replace US dependence on Russian rocket engines. And let's look at SpaceX. SpaceX had an extraordinary year. They had 15 consecutive landings of their first stage. Something that 2 years ago people said could not be done is now routine. And down at the Kennedy Space Center, the Falcon Heavy is lined up, ready to make her first flight, right? This is a vehicle to take astronauts to the moon and take them outside of Earth escape. They've deployed and unveiled their spacesuit, which is a good thing, because they've also announced plans to get humans to the Martian surface by 2024. Time check. 6 years from now. And let's hear this directly from Elon.
Earth-Mars synchronization happens roughly every 2 years. So every 2 years there's an opportunity to fly to Mars. So then in 2024, we want to try to fly 4 ships. 2 of which would be crewed, and 2 of which, two cargo and two crew. The goal of these initial missions is to find the best source of water. That's for the first mission. And then the second mission, the goal is to build the propellant plant. So we should, particularly with 6 ships, there have plenty of landed mass to construct the propellant depot, which will consist of a large array of solar panels, very large array, and then everything necessary to mine and refine water, and then draw the CO2 out of the atmosphere, and then create and store deep cryo CH4 and O2. Then build up the base, starting mostly with one ship, then multiple ships, then start building out the city, then making the city bigger, even bigger.
Pretty amazing. It continues. Saudi Arabia has invested $1 billion into Virgin Galactic. Very proud that just 2 weeks ago, my company Planetary Research launched its 3rd spacecraft. This is the Orchid 6. It's in orbit right now. On board the spacecraft is the navigation guidance, computational capability to operate in deep space, and a thermal camera that's able to image ice and water on asteroids, which, by the way, is the rocket fuel. All of Elon's missions to Mars, all of Jeff's missions require refueling in space, liquid oxygen and hydrogen, or methane. We also passed last year in Luxembourg the laws to allow for private asteroid mining. Out of India, just recently, we had 104 satellites from Planet Lab launched on a single rocket. And Morgan Stanley put out a report saying they expected a $1.1 trillion marketplace. So I think it's kind of low. Just one asteroid's worth at least $5 trillion, so they're lowballing it. In the science side, we discovered a solar system very close to the Earth with 7 Earth-like planets. And on top of that, we flew Cassini in her last days through these geysers on the moon Enceladus near Saturn and found in the geysers molecular hydrogen and CO2, early signs of life. And so Yuri Milner, who you heard me speak about a few years ago, who's sending spacecraft to other stars, wants to do a private mission to Enceladus to actually find life in our solar system. Check this out. Quantum experiments reveal that quantum particles actually can go backwards in time. The LIGOS Observatory, the Gravitational Wave Observatory, witnessed colliding neutron stars. And scientists discovered, massive binary black holes, right? This is truly the days of science fiction. So I can say to you without any question, we are truly living during the most extraordinary time ever in human history. Perhaps maybe with the exception of next year. Thank you. I hope you guys can feel the speed. That's a lot to cover. And believe me, I had 3 times as many slides and I brought it back down. The goal here is I want you to feel, and all of you have access to these slides, I want you to feel how fast things are going. My goal, the water is boiling. It's getting hotter and hotter. And a lot of us are focused on our businesses, focused on our customers, focused on our kids and our family, and we lose track of how fast it's going. I don't want you blindsided. And so my goal here, at least this day, once a year, is to give you a sense of what I'm seeing as the trends, right? You should walk away with like, okay, there's real stuff happening here. I need to pay more attention to it. Not all of it. Pick 1 or 2 things that's important for your future, for your investments, for your life. All right. We're going to be going shortly to the tech demos, but I want to bring on stage. Nope. Okay. We're going to show the tech demo video. All right. One of the things that's important is just people talking on stage is for you to touch and feel the technology, for you to get your hands on it. And for me, my promise is if I show you something, I want you to have an on-ramp. I want you to have a way of actually using it, like tomorrow, or a person to talk to, like today. So our tech demos in our tech hub is really important. Let's roll our tech demo video. my pleasure to bring on stage now Bree Lempesis, one of my Strike Force members. Bree has been deep into robotics and technology all of her life. I stole her from Suitable Technologies. Bree, welcome. Great to see you.
Hi, Peter.
So, Bree, tell us what we're up for. Tell them about yourself. Yeah.
Oh, sure. So my background is I actually came to A360 as a demo company with Suitable Technologies quite a few years ago. Met Peter, and I'm thrilled to be on his team. I'm a robotics geek. I'm a consumer electronics geek. We just went to CES this year and explored tons of different things. And essentially, we scoured planet Earth, not yet Mars, to find you the best companies out there. And so I'm so excited for everybody to have these hands-on experiences, and most importantly, I want to emphasize this. These people who are in the Tech Hub are experts in their field. Please take advantage of their knowledge, ask them your questions, and get their feedback on your ideas.
Yeah, we probably looked at 200 companies, and we'll be showing you just over 20 of them today. And again, we're going to show them to you here on stage, and then the Wilshire Ballroom, what we call the Tech Hub, is where you can go and actually play and learn and participate.
Perfect. Should we get going?
Let's get going. All right. So, first on stage, it's my pleasure to bring Reeve Collins, who is the co-founder and CEO of BlockV. Reeve, let's roll the video. Are we going to roll the video?
Every new, exciting technology goes through an interface moment. It takes the technology from potential to practical, from exciting to explosive. In 1993, Mark Andreessen created Mosaic, the interface layer to the internet. In 2008, Steve Jobs introduced the App Store, the interface layer to mobile, giving rise to the app economy. BlockV is the interface layer to blockchain by enabling the rapid development and monetization of blockchain supertokens called VATMs. Like cryptocurrency, a VATM is scarce, tradable, and ownable, but allows you to connect, engage, and interact through rich multimedia experiences. Our platform allows developers to create, monetize, and distribute VATMs all over the world. After 2 years of development and raising 72,000 Ether in their token generation event, BlockV is ready to usher in the experiential economy.
Reeve,
Hi.
Great to see you, pal.
You too.
Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
So this is you and myself. Joe was digitally on with us, and we did in September a webinar with the A360 community in which we had a chance to debut BlockV, and you were doing your token generation. You'll hear the term token generation event and initial coin offering. They're sort of used interchangeably. And I'll just put this point out for fun, that this was announced. I had a chance to invest. I know about a dozen of you had a chance to invest. And the price at that investment, we got about a 30% discount for the community, was at 1.4 cents. And it was at 19 cents a couple of days ago, about a 14x in 4 months, which is, I can just say thank you.
Yes, yes. And it's just beginning.
It's just beginning. So, talk to us about what BlockV is and what are you building, and then we'll talk about the Vatomic app that people are using.
Absolutely. Well, first I want to acknowledge you and thank you for creating that concept of the interface moment.
Thank you.
Because BlockV really is the interface for the blockchain. And what that really means is that we're building upon the blockchain over all the development for the past 9 years, such as blockchain 1.0, digital scarcity, digital tokens, blockchain 2.0, programmable tokens, such as Ethereum, and now blockchain 3.0. So now that there's this interface, and the blockchain 3.0 will be when transactions are instant and free, and it's experiential tokens. Because once they're instant and free, and now they have app-like qualities, they're highly programmable, and they're still scarce, then you have this experience. And what that will usher in is the experiential economy.
Yeah. I mean, I know that the first time I realized that we're going to be living a lot of our world in the future in the virtual world, where I'm going to be, my kids are there right now in Minecraft, but a lot of us are going to be there as well, where we're in a game or we're in a virtual meeting room with people, and at the end of the day, there may be a Starbucks coffee which I can grab, which has a unique blockchain identifier, and I can grab that in the virtual world and go and trade it in the real world. But it's much more than that. It's the ability for us to advertise using that. I can walking down the street, sort of like Pokemon Go is a version of that, right? It can bring you into stores.
Because think about all those Pokemon objects out there that you find once you explore an augmented reality, but they're not unique nor scarce nor tradable. But now if you have the ability to make those unique digital objects, there's actual value to them.
So this is a blurring of the world between the virtual world and the real world. And just to be clear, BlockV is the company developing all these application layers, and Vatomic Systems is one of the apps built on top of BlockV, correct?
Yes, BlockV is like an app store for developers to build, distribute, monetize these VATOMs, which is our new term for experiential tokens. And Vatomic is a developer that has built an app, which many of you guys got to interact with today.
So who's in the room that should come and visit you to build something on top of BlockV?
People who are looking to more meaningfully interact with their consumer, with their customer. If you'd like to be able to provide them an object of value, some experience. For instance, today, when you came in, you received a gift box that had a ticket and some other collectibles. That's just one way that now Abundance 360 can communicate with you through providing you something that has redeemable value.
Great. Anything else you want to say about the BlockV app that people have? I'm sorry, about the Vatomic app that people have? And we're going to be using that Vatomic app throughout the next 2 days for some of our giveaways and a few of our different interactions, right? I want to, again, it's for you to use this technology and experience and begin to play with it.
Yeah, so you just got a small taste today with that app, and if you don't have the VATOMs that are within it, you can actually scan this little object, or I'm sorry, the A360 logo, and the gift box will come on your phone, because I know some people showed up without that. So that's one way to get the apps. And secondly, in the future, you'll see that it's going to transform a lot of the ways you experience things, such as conference, such as brand advertising, because now you will have these digital objects of value to meaningfully interact that will be tradable with many, many other things.
Awesome. Reeve,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Real excited, and thank you for 14xing my investment.
Yes.
All right. It's my pleasure now to bring on stage, well, actually, we're going to have another exciting cryptocurrency company and company in the blockchain world, CG Blockchain. But first, before I introduce Bob, the president, let's roll their video.
The cryptocurrency market grew to surpass $700 billion in market capitalization in just a very short time. To trade cryptocurrency optimally, a myriad of tools and information are needed. Cryptocurrency traders seek to buy cryptocurrency at the lowest prices, choose their cryptocurrencies based on current and historical data, and enjoy the most robust protection against fraud. Blockchain Terminal brings together all of the tools you need to buy and sell cryptocurrency in a single, integrated interface. It also guards against fraud. Designed to exceed the most robust hedge fund industry compliance requirements, Blockchain Terminal functions right out of the box. It's installed with world-class crypto trading apps, and no setup is required. We are committed to helping you change the world by equipping each of you with your own exclusive installation of Blockchain Terminal at no cost. Experience why Blockchain Terminal is predicted to be the premium terminal for crypto.
Wonderful. Please welcome to the stage Bob Bonomo, the president of CG Blockchain.
Pleasure, Peter. What a great show.
Bob, thank you for flying up from Miami. I know you were there in a major cryptocurrency conference there. So there's two things that you're here to talk about. One is the blockchain terminal that you've built and is getting amazing accolades. And the second is you're just at the beginning of your ICO. We can talk about that. So let's talk about the blockchain terminal first. And I know the video said it, but let's talk about who in the room should be thinking about the blockchain terminal. What does it do for them?
Well, first off, Blockchain Terminal is really a platform we developed to bridge the traditional hedge fund industry with the burgeoning cryptocurrency community. We're building an app store for hedge funds whereby we'll collect the best-of-breed applications to extend traditional hedge fund services into the crypto community and bring the controls and audit trails that crypto hedge funds need to really compete for institutional asset flows. The core foundational app sitting in the App Store is called Compliance Guard, and its premise is to prevent hedge fund fraud by monitoring activity to assure that what is being sold to the client is actually the manner in which the portfolio is managed. We plan to incentivize both traditional vendors who serve traditional hedge funds to extend their services into crypto, and incentivize the blockchain development community to sell their tools and services to the $3 trillion traditional hedge fund community. In essence, we're an on-ramp for both sides. And we believe this is very important because we believe there's going to be a convergence in 2 to 3 years.
So we have a large population in the room, people who are in the financial business. And so this is sort of like the Bloomberg terminal for their cryptocurrencies to help them trade, help them understand what's going on.
Right.
And I know you're just in the early stages, but I was able to squeeze Bob's arm to say, would you be willing to give away a number of these to folks here? And I think you've agreed to give up to 50 away to folks here. So if you actually have a business and you're interested in providing sort of investment advice to your companies, to your investors, to your family office, if you're in the hedge fund and you'd like to look at using it, go and see Bob and his team at the CG booth and you'll get access to this. You're also in the midst of an initial coin offering, which I've invested in. Yes. Where is the stages right now? Give us some of the numbers there in timing. Sure.
We're being backed by the DNA Fund from LA. We finished our family and friends round, and our pre-sale round is rapidly filling up.
I'm in the second round, by the way.
And the intention is to complete the ICO by the end of March.
And so how much do you expect to get in that ICO?
We're shooting for $50 million.
$50 million bucks. Fantastic. Anything else that the team here should know about?
Sure. A couple of really important things. The base application in our App Store is live in 20 traditional hedge funds. Second, we are very close to finalizing a deal with a world-class market data provider and the leading high-end trading platform globally. They support $16 trillion in across their client base and 25% of equity asset flows. They've committed to rolling out our Compliance Guard product to 90,000 of their installed clients and to work with us to extend their world-class FX capabilities to understand and communicate with crypto. So it's very exciting for us.
So what I found really extraordinary about what Bob and his team is doing is they're putting the compliance in place, they're putting the data in place, and they're helping people understand what's going on. And so it's the tools to help financial professionals begin to utilize cryptocurrency, right? So it's not me, oh, send money here or send money there because I heard someone say something. You're making it real.
Absolutely.
So Bob, thank you very much.
Thank you,
a real
Peter.
pleasure.
Pleasure. Thank you very much, everyone.
And maybe we'll do a more in-depth webinar with you if the community wants, so you can learn more about what you're up to.
I would love to.
Fantastic.
Thank
you, Bob.
Thank you.
I put on my Crisis News Network shirt for fun. All right. Let's roll video on an extraordinary company in the cryptocurrency space called T0.
There's this whole new universe of blockchain emerging that's going to disrupt everything. 4 years ago, we designed and built a new version of Wall Street. It's a complete Wall Street, but based in the blockchain. And it's one where the different cheats that exist in the current Wall Street won't even exist in the new blockchain Wall Street.
What we're trying to do is merge Wall Street into the blockchain, take cryptocurrencies and get it into a more regulated, organized fashion, make it more institutionalized. We're one of the first firms doing that, and it's the first regulated token exchange.
I believe T0 will have the capital to execute its vision. And its vision is, within 5 years, it should become the dominant capital market on the planet.
Please welcome to the stage Joseph Camarata. Joe, a fellow pilot. So Joe, I mean, first of all, what T0 is doing, which is amazing, is you're the first security ICO.
That's correct.
What does that mean? Because we had a lot of utility token ICOs, but what's a security ICO?
So security token is regulated. It's a little bit more stringent offering. We're doing ours under a Reg D in compliance with SEC requirements. There's pros and cons. I mean, a traditional ICO, you're raising capital. There's not a lot of requirements. When you get into a security ICO, you have to be an accredited investor. You have to go through KYC and AML checks. Those are the cons. The good news is you're able to bring in significant institutional interest. And that's kind of what we've done with our offering.
And you brought in, the numbers are amazing, $100 million in 12 hours, the first 12 hours.
We had commitments of $100 million within 12 hours.
Yeah.
We were at that blockchain conference in Miami as well. We brought in about $47 million in 12 hours there, another
$47 million. Extraordinary. And so what is your relationship with Overstock as a company?
So Overstock has been long embedded in the Bitcoin transactions, primarily the blockchain. He acquired my company, Patrick Byrne, the CEO, in 2015, in an interest of merging Wall Street into the blockchain, bringing blockchain technology to Wall Street for settlement, clearing, and issuance of stock, which is what we're doing.
So I noticed this, that when the T0 ICO was announced and Overstock's relationship with it, Overstock's stock price went up 450%.
Yeah, and that was something that we were waiting for quite a while in 2017. We had seen these ICOs, coming along, raising a lot of money, owning 2 broker-dealers and having this technology. We had gone through an approval with the SEC to have Overstock issue the first ever publicly traded digital security. So we had to get our broker-dealers approved for digital securities. And Patrick Byrne said we're going to make history, and we did in December of 2016. The problem is people didn't understand the implications. Back in July of 2017, the SEC came out and made a ruling on the ICOs and said that they appear to look like securities, and as such, they need to be regulated and trade under a national exchange, or they made an exemption, which was an ATS for digital securities, which at that time and today, we're the only ones.
Yeah, and so we're going to learn a lot more about this tomorrow afternoon. We have a deep dive for 2 hours, and then Tuesday morning at breakfast as well, where you'll be joining us there at breakfast too. So how can the members, who in the audience could T0 benefit? What's the relationship? Who should come and see your booth here? And what can you do for them? Is it investing in the ICO as an option? Is there any other relationships?
Sure, as long as have to be an accredited investor to get in. We are in the pre-sale phase right now, which will probably be sold out shortly.
Which is the same one I'm invested in as well.
That's correct. Subsequent sale will be coming any day now, and we'll keep everybody posted on the website.
And then you've also pioneered the mechanism by which a company can do a security ICO. And are you going to be helping companies or advising companies in that regard?
Yes, in fact, that's a significant business, and Kodak was our first client, and they're looking to list on the exchange.
Holy shit, congratulations, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. At the end of the day, anything else that folks here should know?
No, I mean, we'll be going to the subsequent sale shortly. Pre-sale should be ending in days.
So stop by in T0. I'm just extraordinarily impressed by the scale and the experience of the team. Joe, thank you very much. Pleasure.
Take care.
All right. Before I introduce our next guest, let me give you some context here. So I've been diving deep and trying to learn as much as I can about cryptocurrencies. It's hard. It's confusing. And other than buying Bitcoin or Ethereum to go and get into these ICOs or go and buy something on exchange is crazy. And so I found myself in a position where I own a little bit here, a little bit there, and this wallet and that wallet, and I'm like pulling my hair out. The next person who I'm about to bring out on stage, Clark Hogan, helped me reorganize my thinking and is someone who I brought here with his company, Factorial 42, to be a go-to person to help you set up a wallet and potentially be someone that you can call on for help the same way I did. Let's show a video that's a time lapse that is unfortunately too real. Show the video.
Sure. Go ahead. Okay. Scroll to the left to go to the Bitcoin app.
I mean, thank God you're here, dude. It's like...
And you keep that in a safety deposit box. So that if you run this over, your kid chews on this, or you throw this in the toilet, you can retrieve that from your safety deposit box, which is ironic because the whole point of this is decentralizing, but we're actually storing the key to unlock the decentralized wallet in a centralized location. But it's also very safe.
Not over-exaggerating, and that represented one of multiple days of time we spent. Please welcome to the stage Clark Hogan.
I think we spent more time than that.
Yeah, we did. A lot more time than that. I have to tell one small story, which is it's funny now in retrospect. There was a moment in time where I had moved some of my V, which has gone up 14-fold into a My Ether wallet, but didn't realize it was there, and I was cleaning up a folder, and it got deleted. And so there's about 12 hours where, let's just say, there was a lot of money lost. And I'm meeting up with Clark, and he's like, time to go dumpster diving. And we found it, but so easy. So all I'm saying is, first of all, it's not simple yet. Lots of opportunities, right? The world's biggest problem is the world's biggest business opportunities. There's a lot of business opportunity for making this stuff simple. Clark, tell them why you're here and what Factorial 42 can offer folks here.
Sure, yeah. So Factorial 42 is all about participation, ideation, and innovation. Participation, Peter, right? Actually, a lot of you guys, I helped you guys participate in the BlockV ICO.
Right, so Clark was the person that helped you turn your cash into BlockV.
Into BlockV.
How many folks here, can I get the lights up? How many folks here actually, could you stand up if you were, someone bought BlockV from that webinar? All right, are you guys happy? Yeah? Yeah. All right.
Thanks. Right, so participation, I helped you move from 7 wallets down to 1 Ledger hardware wallet, like we saw in the video. Through to ideation, you guys have cash flow businesses, you guys are making money, but you don't want to get Kodak'd, and you want to move into the future to beat your competitors. Come see us, we can build that idea for you. Through to implementation, right? Let's take that idea and actually develop it. I have a team of developers who do this stuff all day, all night.
Fantastic. So I've got a curious question. Factorial 42, where's that name come from?
Well, we all know 42 is the meaning of the universe.
Yes.
And so loosely, factorializing that is to find the steps or the path to the meaning of the universe.
Fantastic. Anything else that the group should know here?
But wait, there's one more thing.
Yes.
So do you guys remember how painful that was, the 6 people who stood up? It was going from cash to exchange to Ethereum, my Ether wallet, to BlockV contribution, to back to your Ether wallet, to your hardware wallet, or wherever.
I do.
I'm now on the cusp. Next week, we're going to issue a press release around the ability for you guys to participate in exchanges, and if you're accredited investors, in ICOs with merely just a credit card, skipping all of that friction and getting involved directly.
That's cool.
And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Clark.
Thanks, man. I got to get a t-shirt.
All right. Let's go next to Auspian. So for me, this is what my desk normally looks like. All these jumble of wires. And this next company, we're about to see the video, I'm very proud. It's one of the investments that Bold Capital Partners made, a spin out of Caltech. It's about going to the wireless charging world. Let's run the video.
Over the last couple of years, we've
developed a truly revolutionary wireless power technology at Caltech. For example, right now there's a spot in front of me where power is being sent, and if I move my phone into this spot, it'll start charging. And the selectivity is such that if I move my phone ever so slightly out of this location, it'll cease to charge. Again, if I put it back here, it'll start charging again. We can visualize this with this little light bulb that we've mounted here. As you can see, power is being sent here, but not here or over here. We can selectively steer this power to other locations, of course. For example, I can tell the generation unit to steer power over here. As power is being steered over here, the LED will light up here, but no longer at the old location over here. And if I take my cell phone, it'll now start charging at this location right here.
Please welcome to the stage the CEO of OSPIN, Ali. Ali, welcome. So, Ali, you're at Caltech. How long have you been working on this?
Well, we've been working directly on this technology for more than 5 years and indirectly developing the background technology for about 20 years, close to 19 years to be exact.
And so we've heard about and have talked about wireless charging for a while now. How long before you think this kind of technology is going to hit the consumer? Because right now we have sort of induction charging. You put your phone on a mat, but being able to charge from a distance, not here yet.
Right, exactly. So really it goes back to the ability to transfer power over longer distances. And what we are doing right now, and we have a demo in the rodeo room, rodeo gallery, I believe, that you can actually come and see where we are. I think we are about 1.5 years from actual larger scale deployment of such technology, and of course the subsequent technology generations that will come after that.
Fantastic. So if folks go to the Rodeo Gallery, which is on your way to where you're going to eat, and just past the tech hub, you can go and actually see the technology working. Yeah. What kind of distance do you imagine these things are going to transmit over?
So that's one of the beauties of our technology. It's extremely scalable. So what it allows you to do by changing, you can develop size systems for your desktop, for example, or we can develop things that work in a big room and even longer distances. So the scalability of our technology is one of our major advantages. So we can actually by making larger or smaller systems, we can make the ones that go farther or nearer.
So in the future, we'll have these panels in this room and devices will be just charging while we're sitting there. Is it maintenance charging, or is it more than that to charge up your phone?
Oh, that's a great question, actually. So it's both. It can be both. So one of the reasons that we have that most of our portable devices are the size they are is that you have to carry a lot of energy with you. But now what happens once you have long distance power transfer, which includes charging as well, you do not have to carry that much energy. So you can make the devices much smaller or replace them with other functionalities and capabilities.
Yeah, amazing. So we'll see. I mean, as I think about it, it's beyond just the coffee shop. It's in the car, it's in the airplane, it's in your office, it's every place. So you'll never have a low battery again.
Exactly. So the way we think about it is that never to connect again. We want to have a truly unplugged world. And this basically, this kind of technology allows us to have it where we want, when we want, and as much as we want, the power.
Fantastic. So I don't know what else is there anything else you want to tell the audience here?
Sure. The way I'd like to think about this is that, if you think about it 10, 15 years ago, when you wanted to connect to internet, you had to use the Ethernet cable. Mm-hmm. But once that's removed, a lot of the paradigms changed. You do not have to carry that much data on you. It's all on the cloud. And for the same reason, we think that once this technology becomes commonplace and broadly deployed, you will not have to carry that much energy, which makes it possible to have a much different kind of a portable environment for your portable devices.
Yeah, amazing. So I'm excited to go and see it. I've spoken on the phone many times, sure. And I know that we did a ton of due diligence as we were making the investment with BCP, but congratulations on this. I, for one, am excited to have you succeed in a big way. Ali, thank you so much. Peter. A pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, if you were here last year, you had a chance to experience Dreamscape. In fact, a number of you here in the audience are investors in Dreamscape. This is a mixed reality experience that I'm very proud, again, Bold Capital Partners was the lead underwriter of this. And let me show a short video and then bring Bruce Vaughan, the CEO, to the stage. So please roll the video. Please welcome to the stage Bruce Vaughan. Hey, Bruce. Good to see you again.
See you.
So it was, I went there with my team, and we had a chance just a few days ago to see the latest version. The term we used, it was joyful.
Yep.
It was joyful. I so wanted my kids to experience it. So that alien scene, that beautiful open expanse with those alien dinosaurs, you're wearing your gear and you go in there, you're on that pod, and you're there. And it is beautiful, and you feel the wind and the fragrance, and it's just an extraordinary, joyful experience. And it's interactive. When you go each over and you pet that alien creature,
yes, that's right.
It's there, and you feel that alien creature. I kid you not. And it was just, I just wanted to do 1,000 of those adventures.
Well, yes, and it's a great example of how, by the way, Steven Spielberg inspired idea, something that he and Walter Parks wanted to do at DreamWorks, but couldn't figure out as a movie, so we did it here because he felt this was the right medium for it. And I think it is the perfect example of how we're leaning into the tropes of cinema and theme park attractions, wonder, awe, and aspiration. And I think it's going to blow people's minds and really take VR to a new place.
So talk about when this is rolling out, and then I'd like to talk about a little about, because a number of folks here are either through Bold Capital or on their own are investors in Dreamscape, and you've had we had
an amazing year.
Amazing year.
We had an amazing year. We thought we were going to open a venue in Westfield in Century City to get our Series B. It turns out our Series B came through because Adam Aaron, the CEO of AMC, saw an early demo of that and got so inspired that he led our B round, and in October we closed it, moving the valuation of the company from 50 million to 150 million without opening a thing. So that was pretty great and very exciting for us. That did allow us to modify our strategy. So big news for us is on February 7th, we are opening a pop-up that is going to be very demonstrative of our entire experience. We're going to have a lobby area that will show you how we're going to have very high touch Disney quality kind of pre-show and cast member experience, and we're going to be showing the full Alien Zoo at the Westfield Century City Mall. That will run for a month, and that pop-up will then continue to go around the country domestically as well as into the Middle East. And so that's our big first launch out into the world while we're developing our first owned and operated venue, which will open in the summer of 2018, as well as many locations that we're already doing site surveys with AMC and with MAF, which is the biggest owner of Vox Cinemas and the Mall of the Emirates in the Middle East as well.
So I might actually go see a movie, and then after the movie, step into an experience where I go and experience the movie.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. And we think this is very complementary. So speaking of our content strategy, we've done the two big things that we need to do are locations, obviously distribution, and we're very aggressive on that in Canada, domestic, Europe, as well as the Middle East, and we're beginning to get into the APAC area as well. And then obviously content. And we have a very exciting content pipeline. It's a combination of big franchises like for instance, James Bond, Men in Black, etc. But we're also looking at branded original content because that will obviously give us the most return on investment and be able to inspire, and we think seed the other markets like movies, at-home, VR, gaming, etc. So we have a lot of great content.
So amazing. One of the things I found incredible in this particular experience that I had, it was you, me, and Bree, and we were all, three of us were African American.
Yeah.
And it was really an extraordinary experience to change your race, perhaps to change your sex, and to be able to, and we've talked about that in past years, where it just allows you to connect differently. So that's a whole other part of VR we're not talking about yet, but that was just, wow, this is
Well, we're very committed to both narrative storytelling, but with what's so unique about VR is agency. You can give people agency, so game mechanics, etc. And one of the things that you'll be able to do in our experiences from day one, even at the pop-up, is pick your own avatar. Obviously, we'll continue to evolve that and make it more sophisticated as time goes, but literally what you said, you know, skin color, sex, whatever you want, you can go in and be different
I can be an alien.
You could be an alien, you could be whatever you want.
So I haven't asked this before. I'm going to extract this promise from you on stage because you were busy with Westfield and your pop-up. Yeah. Can you bring a pop-up here next year?
We will bring a pop-up here next year, yes.
I promise.
Because we are, right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Bruce.
Bye-bye.
And this, by the way, was us on that journey. All right, we're about to go to break. Is that correct? No? I know, we're after beta, yeah. And we have two more things before we go to break. The first is beta. So beta is a redesign of the shopping experience. It's for small and medium-sized consumer goods. They are the place that if you're a tech geek or a kid at heart, you're going to want to go and shop. And we have a pop-up facility for beta in the Tech Hub. And each of you has a $100 certificate to go there and buy something off of beta. So go, explore, enjoy. And then a number of you are also going to get a chance to win $1,000 certificates tomorrow and Tuesday to go and buy toys for your kids at home, or whatever the case might be. All right. Last, before we go to break, it is truly an honor for me to bring on stage two incredible individuals. They're Singularity University graduates, friends. You've seen them before here. Please welcome from Focus at Will, Will Henschel and John Vitale. Will. Hey, buddy.
Thank you.
John.
Hi, everybody.
So you guys have been just extraordinary, helping us score this program, helping us create the dimension of sound, and just being amazing, amazing, literal rock stars.
Thank you.
So tell us, first of all, what's new with Focus at Will and what we're doing here. So give us a quick update.
Well, the last year was very exciting for us. We grew, the company grew. We grew about 50%.
That's pretty good in 1 year.
Virally, yeah. My granddad will be proud of me. And we've done a lot of work behind the scenes on fine-tuning the back end. And
so for those who don't know, please explain what Focus at Will is. Let's start there.
Okay. Focus at Will is a music service that uses evidence-based science to help you focus and do stuff better. That's how it works. And it works well for about 2 people out of 3 who try it.
That's pretty good.
And in a minute, we're going to actually play some examples for the thinking period.
So during the course of A360, if you've not been here, there's times in which you're going to hear something from Ray Kurzweil or Tony Robbins, whoever it is, and you're asked you to think about answering a question for yourself. And so there'll be periods of 5 minutes, 7 minutes where you need to do some work, and we want to create the ambiance to allow you to focus. And
right.
We're going to choose that music for you today.
That's right. That's right. And we're also going to show you, we've been personalizing the service a lot. And we're going to share a new channel that we've built with our science team. And it's very black and white. It works for about 5% of normal people. And I think it may work for about 15% of us. And we'll run that for people and see what they think.
Great.
So
Let's do it.
Shall I run?
Yeah,
great. So, here it is. So, we've got about 1.5 million users now. And we recently did a deep dive survey, and we asked them, what's your single biggest challenge when you're working? And the results came back. It was very surprising. The answer was, we want to be happy at work. Well, no surprise. The next answer that came back was, we want to stop distractions. And then the third answer was, we want to get more done. Well, this is kind of interesting because being happy at work, how? And of course, stopping distractions and getting more done generally means that you're happier at work. So how do you do that? Well, a lot of people like to listen to music when you're working. In fact, on a show of hands, how many people here like to listen to music when you're working? Right? It's about 2 people out of 3. It seems to be a human condition. But the question is, what do you listen to? Now, we've had this conversation many times. What do you listen to? Because regular music is distracting. And scientifically, it's messy. What I mean by that is there's lots of stuff going on. And here's some examples of messy music. Do you think you could work while this is on? What about this? Waiting on the pencil, the diesel, and the chisel. G's to the business. You're going to be typing, I think, right? And some people say, what about classical music? Right? Some people like to listen to classical music when you're working. So anyway, Focus at Will is all about something that we call streamlined music. And John Vitale, who, by the way, scored and created all the music to Peter's presentation earlier
openings on. And our opening film, video. Yes.
Some good experiments we're running.
Yeah.
John is one of the world experts, if not the leading expert, on what streamlined music is, which is, John, what is streamlined music?
Well, streamlined music, think of it like this. We take a track, and first we analyze it, then we edit out all the distracting bits. It could be like the samples you played. It could be the loud vocals or the really big dynamics. Right. It's the little nuances that will take you out of your flow state when all of a sudden you're distracted by the things in the music. So we get in there, microanalyze it, edit it, and then we remaster it with special processes so you can set it in the background and it's set it and forget it. So it's there for you just to help you flow.
And we've got 3 examples of different genres of streamlined music that we're going to play during the thinking here. Now, the thing about this is that it's very individual. What will work really well for you will not really well work for you. So the first example, just have a listen to this, kind of close your eyes and see whether this music in the background quietly would help you think. Okay. Another type of music now. Same question. Would this type of music help you? It's a little loud. Thank you. Okay. And the third option is this. So, which genre worked best for you? I'm just going to quickly jump through them, and then we're going to ask the question number 1. Number 2. Hang on. Or number 3. So let's just do...
Do you have to choose just one?
Yes. Well, no. By a show of hands, can we see how many people thought number 1, which is the acoustic?
Could work, okay.
Okay.
Can you vote twice, I guess, is the question, if you want to.
Yeah, please only vote once. Yeah. Who thought the second, which was the more electronica?
Slightly.
Okay. And who thought the third, the classical music? Interesting. What do you think, Peter?
I think number 1 was like slightly more than number 3, and number 2 was the lowest. Yeah.
That's what we found last year as well. So I mentioned when I came on that we've been working on a new type of channel. It's called the Ultra Joan channel. This isn't live in our system yet. It's going live in the next couple of days. This is our science team, Ned Hallowell, Dr. Julia Mossbridge, and Dr. Robert Alexander. These are some of the world experts on ADHD and hearing and consciousness. And I'm just going to play this, see what you think. Would this help you? You can turn this up a little if you like. I've got some horrified faces out here. Come on, admit it. Did this help anybody? Oh yeah, you're my people if you are. We've got a handful of people. It's no shame to say you like this kind of thing. So yes, we have found in our tests very black and white that this channel either works for you or does not. The question, of course, is how do you know which channel, what kind of music works well for you? And we have this research-backed channel recommender that was on behind me. And this is something that we started really triggered by a conversation with you last year, Peter. You said, how do people know what channels to work on? And so we ran this project where we asked a lot of people, as I said, we've got hundreds of thousands of people using the system, and we said, what type of music works best for you, and what's your brain type? We backwards engineered that, and we have this, which is a channel recommender on our system. It's on the homepage, and it works really well.
Awesome. So I literally go there, and in 4 minutes and 15 questions, you'll correlate me.
Using big data at the back end.
Fantastic. Well, that's great. And do you have the data that you need for thinking music?
Yes, we do.
Awesome. John, thank you so much, pal.
Thank you.
Well, always a pleasure, buddy.
Always. Thank you.
Thank you all. All right, now we're going to a 15-minute break. Stretch your legs. It's been a long run. Hopefully, this is the longest run you're going to have in the 3 days, but you're fresh. And then we're coming back. We'll be joined by myself, Tony Robbins, Natalie Foster on the future of work. And we really want to hear your thoughts. Enjoy the break. See you guys in 15. Everybody, welcome to our Abundance Digital Backstage session. Such a pleasure to be here with you and spend some extra time over these days with behind the scenes conversation, answering your questions. Let me first thing, most importantly, introduce my dear friend, Tom Bilyeu. Tom, pleasure. So let me brag on Tom for a little bit. Tom is an amazing man. He was founder, co-founder of Quest Nutrition, grew it from 0 to north of $1 billion in record time. I think you hit like the fastest growing company in America for a period of time.
Number 2. I'm mortified that it was number 2, but it's good.
I'm not going to even ask who number 1 was.
We're out of business.
Oh, goodness. Okay, all right, fine.
De facto, we're number 1.
All right. And Tom is also the founder, creator of Impact Theory. Let's see the shirt, the logo, Impact Theory. So I've been on Impact Theory a number of times, and Tom is someone who gets my universe, everything I care and love about, and does an amazing job creating and communicating abundance and exponential mindsets in the world. So when we were talking about this, Tom, would you come and manage the backstage conversations for Abundance Digital? You said yes, and so there are going to be times where I'm going to be sending folks like Astro Teller or Ray Kurzweil backstage to spend more time with you when I have to be in front stage. So Tom's going to be managing that. So here we are. We're at a break while everyone else is going to the bathroom. Hopefully you've done that already. Let's answer.
Let's do it, man. So we've got some questions from you guys in the community. Keep submitting those, by the way. They're going through, pulling the juiciest nuggets, and we're going to start with Santiago. And when will AI become self-aware, and how would we know?
Yeah, so Santiago, let's ask that. It's a great question to ask of Ray. And the when, so the question is that going to be a black and white or subtle, or there could be degrees of self-awareness, right? Because Ray's prediction is 2029 is the moment in time where AIs have exceeded humans in their intellect, but are they self-aware? do we need, is self-awareness an emergent property that occurs when enough neurons, or there are people who think that self-awareness is a quantum effect that happened from the microtubules and the 100 billion neurons in your brain. So I don't know the answer. But the question of how would we know is, I guess we'll ask them.
And that's really interesting to me. And sitting out there, it was pretty fascinating to get the year of sort of breakthroughs condensed down into one thing.
Yeah.
But seeing the robots, seeing the uncanny valley, and projecting out where that's going to be is exciting, a little terrifying. So that's.
But I am curious for you and for the audience. Like, I think you probably have heard little bits and pieces of what I went over in Living in 2018, but did seeing it in that rapid and condensed fashion help crystallize it and seeing the world as having moved forward?
No question. And also, you really get a sense of the rapid escalation, especially having been here last year. And for anybody out there, if this is your first year in the community, the really interesting part is coming year after year and benchmarking off of what you were talking about last year and just how far things have come in a single year. Is it's pretty amazing.
So again, I hope you'll be on this 25-year journey with me, either as an Abundance Digital member or here in the audience or some other mechanism, because we're going to experience over these 25 years amazing things. We're going to see the emergence of full-on AI robots in our homes, curing cancer, extending our lives. All these things are going to happen not in the next 25 years, really in the next 15 years. So stick with me, and let's have these conversations every year so we're planning for the year ahead. What do we have next?
All right, this is from Adrian. I'm invested in the emotion AI space. Where are you looking to invest in the AI space today?
Yeah, so Adrian, I agree with you. I think emotional AI, or AIs that exhibit emotions, are going to be a big deal in 2018. We have a number of robots, a number of systems. I think we're going to see upgrades to Alexa and Siri where they'll become sad if you're upset, and seriously. And so we're going to, an AI that you get pissed off at and they're sad, you're going to start to feel a different connection with them. The other place that I'm seeing that I'm excited about is AI in the healthcare space. It's more a matter of where's the money flowing for an investment standpoint. That AI is going to accelerate the velocity and make it more available. And again, we see AI making things cheaper and more democratized and better. And so, yeah, emotional AI definitely this year.
All right, next up, Jason. What tech demos are you most excited about this year? What is most surprising?
So I'm interested to go and play with Auspian, the power transmission, just because, I don't know if you're like me, but it's like, oh shit, I'm at 30%, right? And now I'm scurrying to go find power. So that's going to be a challenge. I wanted to get Dreamscape here physically, just because they're rolling out right now. They can't be here, but having seen it, it was amazing. The whole cryptocurrency blockchain world is blowing my mind, seeing a 14-fold return on Block V, on the V token. So if you're a member of the Abundance Digital community, what I'm going to pledge to you is I'm going to do webinars with the companies doing ICOs that are the most credible to me. I'll bring the CEO, the president in, and I'll share with you what I'm investing in and negotiate a right for you guys to invest as well.
Right, so, that point, by the way, our next question from Adil is about that. So how can I invest in Block V, and what are you personally putting your money into in crypto?
So Adil, you can still go and invest. Block V is on a number of exchanges. You can Google where it is. I'm investing in a few different initial coin offerings right now. I have sort of a mix, and if on the Abundance Digital app, we have that conversation. Bree Lempesis is sort of heading that conversation as well, and I'll be sharing. I don't want to give investment advice. I will tell you what I'm investing in, if that's fair, and then I will make opportunities available for you as I negotiate deals like I did with Block V, as an ICO is happening for T0 or CG Blockchain, and others. I will create an opportunity for you to piggyback and do the very best that I can. So,
all right, we got to sneak this last one in.
Yeah.
This is from Dante. When does the android versus human war begin, and how can
so Dante, I am wearing my Crisis News Network shirt, and clearly you've been watching the Crisis News Network too much. The android versus human war may be a war for your job, and so this is something we're going to be talking about in detail at around 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern time, when Tony and Natalie Foster join me for this conversation. So stay tuned for that. And I don't know the outcome of that battle. I know it's going to increase abundance, but one of the reasons Tony and I have partnered in this conversation is because of the human emotional connection to our jobs. And then, of course, you can sort of send some messages out to the ether and tell the AI overlords that you bow to them. And so when they come in, maybe they'll give you a special dispensation.
I know we're supposed to wrap up, but really fast, I have a personal question.
Yeah, sure.
Do you actually think that that's going to be the battle, or is it more going to be android versus cyborgs? Like, it seems so inevitable that we begin to upgrade ourselves.
Oh, yeah. So the battle, and again, we'll talk to Brian Johnson on Tuesday morning. He talks about it's not about AI versus humans. It's about AI versus HI. So as we begin to upgrade ourselves, and I can see the port right here, baby. Right. Don't tell me. No. Don't turn towards the camera. But as we begin to, right, so Ray Kurzweil talks about connecting to the cloud, right? And so if you want to increase your memory capacity or think a question, know the answer, or increase your intelligence by 1,000,000-fold and spin up 1,000 processors on AWS, you can do that. And so, it's not, we tend to compare ourselves to the future as we are today versus realizing we're going to evolve, 20 doublings. What's 20 doublings, right? If you watch my videos in A360 or Abundance Digital, 10 doublings were 1,000 times better, 20 doublings 1,000,000 times, 30 doublings 1,000,000,000. So what does human capability look like when we're 1,000,000 times better? But ultimately, and this is going to be the closing chapter of my next book, writing with Stephen Kotler, which is called Convergence. It's about, and you and I have talked about this, it's about creating the meta-intelligence. It's about us connecting and becoming conscious at a new level as a new species.
Yeah, I mean, these questions and so many more are so fascinating. Guys, thank you so much for joining us and submitting these questions. We're going to be doing this for the next 3 days, not just with Peter, but with all of the amazing guests that are going to be joining us on stage, coming back here. So prepare your questions, shoot them in. Let us know what you're thinking about the experience, by the way. It's incredible to have people from all around the world be joining us. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I think now we're about to head back.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you again to Deloitte for making this webcast possible, for Deloitte Private. Thank you for underwriting this. I want to welcome the YPOers around the world who have joined us, about 1,000 YPOers. Welcome to the 2,000 Abundance Digital members. Welcome to the Platinum Partners from Tony's organization, and to the members from Strategic Coach. Real pleasure to have you guys. And if you're not a member of Abundance Digital, consider joining. It's a year-long experience, and I love my community and would love to have you part of it.
Perfect. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. And now, back to the main stage. Brother, thanks for having me.
Thanks, buddy. See you guys in a little bit.